to answer your question, we need to take a step back and identify a common link between the state of the judiciary, the state of mass entertainment, and the state of mass media. And the common link is that you have a government governed by an ideology that wants to control how people think, what people say, what people read, how people love, what they eat, what they wear, how judges decide cases.
No, I don't agree.
What kind of movies? No, I mean, what kind of movies are to be made, what kind of books are to be made. And they have found a wide variety of ways to have their way with each of these sectors that are represented here in the state.
One judge.
It's a miracle. It is a miracle. It is a miracle that Justice Oak made it to the Supreme Court, frankly. Because the problem is not just how judges are selected, but good judges often find themselves shunted off, right?
Well, that's what I was trying to provoke him to say something, but he's been very
You have Justice Shakdar in the hall here, Justice Muralidhar, Justice Akhil Qureshi, judges who took a stand and decided cases based on what they thought was right and wrong. It didn't go down well with the establishment and they were shunted away, right? So, and similarly, movies don't get released, directors get blackballed, actors get blacklisted. And in the media, which is the question that you asked, some media proprietors have, are part of the dark side, quite frankly. They either have an ideological or political affinity with the ruling establishment, or there are very strong money interests that are involved, or you have people who are highly risk averse, who perhaps have involvement in different industries where the license permit Raj continues to operate, so the government has 101 ways of putting pressure. Or you have, you had an independent TV channel like NDTV, which was the one channel that was able to report things professionally, and it gets the owner gets pushed out.
Influence used to happen even earlier. It's not as if it's happening only now.
There is no comparison. I mean, of course, there was pressure.
Yes, there was.
On judges, on movie makers, on journalists, always. There's always been pressure.
That's correct. That's what I'm saying.
But the qualitative and quantitative difference today is manifest.
I see.
In the sense that the way in which pressure is applied, the way in which media proprietors have backed off. So today you don't have a single television channel that's worth watching.
Defamation cases.
Well, defamation cases was old technology, right? when the wire, when we started, we were hit with a whole raft of defamation cases, and lots of colleagues in the media have had to deal with this. Going back, I mean, when I became editor of The Hindu, Jayalalitha slapped a criminal defamation case on me and others for stories that we did. So that's the old tactic, right? What's new now is the filing of sedition cases, the filing of terrorism cases, the criminalization of journalism by freelance reporters. You know the case, there was a reporter, Jaiswal in Uttar Pradesh, did a story on how in what I forget the name of the district, but midday meal got reduced to chapati and salt. And a case got filed against him. He spent, weeks, months battling those charges. So the criminalization of journalism has gone well beyond just defamation. And, so Siddiq Kappan spent more than 2 years in jail. You have colleagues in Jammu and Kashmir who have, spent time under UAPA, under PSA. So this is, nothing that we have seen in the last 70, 80 years, and I'm saying this with a great deal of responsibility, compares to the kind of pressure. Now, the government can turn around and say, as they do, that, the wire is publishing, you are free to publish, so this means there is nothing wrong, right? And I accept that. Of course, we publish. And we publish whatever we want, and we do it with a great deal of responsibility. But the way in which cases are filed, you see, it's the randomness. So you don't, one Siddiq Kappan, one Fahad Shah, one Sajjad Gul is enough to have a chilling effect on a very large number of journalists across the country. Right. So you pick out one journalist who's a freelancer and say your story on midday meals is going to become a criminal case, you then, force every freelance reporter to look over her shoulder when she's going to file a story that may be critical of the CM or the DM or even an SP, right? So this, this is the state of the media today, and this is the state of all of our, they don't want people, and you said this is about information. They don't want people to get information about what is happening in this country.
But they were getting information when Operation Sindoor happened. They were getting information that Karachi has been attacked and Lahore has been captured.
I asked, I was in a situation where the wire got banned for we got taken off we were blocked for 24 hours. Right. And, I invoked my right under the IT Act. I said, look, you have to give me a hearing. Yeah. You did this, I demand my right to hear. So a hearing was convened. And I think I'm not allowed to share all the details because this is a confidential process, but mota I'll tell you what happened. That I said, look, you have blocked the wire for putting out a story for reporting what CNN said about the downing of a Rafale. CNN story is available. The whole world is talking about it, and you blocked us.
That way, Trump's statements are also available.
But that came later, right? But I said, you have TV channels that are filing patently false information. And I said, secondly, the Rafale story of CNN was never denied by the government of India. So the people of India don't, as far as they're concerned, you haven't denied it. So why should we take it as a false story? But the claim that Karachi has been bombed, the claim that Indian soldiers have crossed the line of control, these are patently false stories. You did nothing to stop that. These are stories that actually, if you talk to any military person, they will tell you that this actually puts the Indian armed forces in harm's way because you're fabricating stuff which is giving the other side an excuse to then escalate.
So you're manufacturing information.
Exactly. And no action is taken despite the fact that they have all these laws where they can act. And so I asked these gentlemen, I said, look, how come you didn't take action? No answer. No answer.
But you have a broadcasting code which says that, look, if you cross this line, action will be taken against you. And most of them cross that line, and yet no action is taken.
The action that they took. Let's look at. I mentioned our case. They tried to ban a channel in Kerala, Media One, Malayalam channel, on grounds of national security. No reason given. I think the High Court...
The court came to your help.
The Supreme Court finally came to the help. In our case, when they filed a sedition case under BNS against Karan Thapar, myself and a couple of other people, the Supreme Court gave us protection from coercive action, at which point the Assam police lost all interest in the case. So the courts at the highest level are, taking a stand in favor of free press, and coming out against this kind of coercive action. But, there are far too many cases, and the lowest court, the first court where a journalist knocks, right? The district court, the sessions court, they are, very rare to see them rule against the executive.
That's true. That's true.